Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I thought I would show you some of the meals that I had when we were recently on a cruise. The ship was called NCL Spirit. Now, as you might know, I'm on a weight loss injection called Mounjaro, and it really suppresses your appetite. So I could not probably eat as much as I would normally on a cruise. Now, my husband always says the more you eat, the cheaper the cruise. And I know how much you lovely lot seeing everything that I do eat. And I just thought I would give you a little bit of reality and show you maybe what I put on my plate and tell you what I didn't manage to eat and what I did manage to eat. Now, you'll know from some of my other videos that I probably cannot manage 3 courses. So sometimes I might just narrow that down or try and make better choices. So today I'm going to show you some of the things, not everything that I had to eat. Now, I didn't eat this, but I just thought I'd show you. This was one of the first things that we saw when we got on the ship, and it was a beautiful cake that said, "Welcome aboard." So this was actually my first meal, and you know, it looks like a lot. Now, these plates were huge and people were piling their plates high. So on this particular day, I don't think I'd really maybe had very much for breakfast, maybe some fruit and some yogurt. We got on the ship probably late morning, and this was probably, this was 11:30. So this was the 20th of February. And this was a beautiful piece of beef. I didn't eat the fat with some rice, and I just had a little bit of vegetables. And I don't know why I put 5 chips on the plate. You know, if you know me, you will know I'm not a great big potato lover. I don't really like chips, but for some reason I fancied a few, and then a little cake for desserts. Now, they do have on the ships, when in the restaurants, this is kind of like a rolling buffet, so this is open quite a lot of the time, and they do have like juice and water. We did have a package where all our drinks were free. As you know, I'm not really a big alcohol lover, but I do like a Diet Coke or a Coke Zero. So yeah. These desserts, they're kind of like, they're a bit difficult to explain really. They're kind of like sponge, and like, it's like Angel Delight, and it's kind of, it doesn't have an awful lot of flavour to them, but they're quite light, they're quite nice. A lot of the time I forgot to take pictures, but on this cruise in particular, and you don't get this on all cruise ships in all-inclusive buffet sort of style restaurants, is ice cream. And there was such a great choice. Most days there was about 8 flavours to choose from. And the top one that I've already eaten was like, I think they call it Stratatoria or something, I'm not sure. And it was just like a vanilla, but with that in as well. And the bottom one was vanilla. Then I went on to have a coffee and some cake. Again, I didn't eat all of that cake. I think the other half might have had a little bit of it. They called this cake pound cake, and it was pretty much on all of the time. Sometimes it was green, sometimes it was orange, lots and lots of different particular types. And it just tasted like just a plain cake, really. And as you know, Lisa loves the cake. And then this is later on that evening. So we did go to a restaurant called Windows. Let me see if I can find you a picture. Oh, it's a beautiful restaurant. There we go. There's a lovely picture of the dining room. And I think I had a starter and a main course in this particular restaurant. And it was like a little salad, and it had some feta cheese in it. And it was quite nice, quite light. I don't like olives. Do you like olives? The other half likes olives, so he had my olives. And then for my main course, I had a steak. This was a pepper sauce with a tomato and chips. Now, I should have asked for a salad, really, but I didn't really eat much of the chips. But again, for me, it's just trying to get that protein in. I thought I'd pop this picture on. This wasn't mine, but this was Jed's. And this was fish and tartar sauce there. I don't know, has he got chips? Has he got anything? He probably had some of mine, to be fair. I had loads. Now, this is the next day, and I did try and avoid at all cost breakfast. And I was halfway through this when I thought, I need to take a picture. So in the morning, my new habit really is coffee. I mean, today it is 1 o'clock and I haven't really eaten anything. All I've had is 2 coffees and loads of juice. So this particular day, we were eating about 20 to 10, and I had a little homemade omelette. Well, when I say homemade, it's them making it there. It had ham, cheese, onions, and yeah, that was it. So yeah, the omelettes were lovely. I didn't have them very often, to be honest with you. This was 1:30 in the afternoon, and I've got egg, coleslaw, cheese, chicken, You can see my little one tiny potato. I don't know what that is on the top right. It was kind of like a sausage. It was very dry. I had a little bit out of it, as you can see, and I didn't eat any more. And then there was kind of like a sweet and sour chicken drumstick. That was lovely. Now, I was a bit naughty for the desserts here. I think that was a toffee ice cream and a cake. I didn't manage to eat all of that. I think I had one bowl of ice cream and about maybe half of that cake. Just to let you know here, I did actually lose a pound on this holiday. How? I don't know. Maybe I just did a lot of walking. So the next night we went to a speciality restaurant called Le Bistro. And I did have 3 courses here and it was very rich. And all I'm saying is I did have to go back to the room afterwards for maybe 15 minutes. And I'm sure you all know why. Okay, so this was French onion soup, very rich, lots and lots of cheese, far more cheese than I'd have put on it. Beautiful. Main course was a couple of potatoes. Now there were dishes of fruit. I was starting to feel full before I'd even started on this. And then it was like a chicken leg, really, really rich gravy sauce, like a red wine jus. Yeah, God, it was just absolutely lovely. I think it was like a coq au vin, you know, with like little pickled onions in it. But yeah, lovely. Now, did I have a dessert? Indeed, I did. And it was 3 scoops of sorbet ice cream on like crushed meringue. That's the word. But like I said, my tummy did not thank me. And I don't think I managed to eat. I don't think I finished the soup. I don't think I ate all the main. And I definitely shared that dessert with the other half. Next day, definitely didn't have any breakfast. Was feeling absolutely bloated. The next day we were on a trip and then we got back on the boat at about 3 o'clock. And at this point, I'd not really eaten very much. But, you know, I just wasn't hungry. I'd had maybe a little bit of fruit for breakfast. I think maybe a couple of coffees. And yeah, getting back on the ship, I had a couple of pieces of roast beef. That's like a little curry thing. Some garlic rice, which was absolutely yummy. I love rice over potatoes any day of the week. And a little bit of a salad at the top there. Why have I gone over the top with the desserts? This is why I don't learn. I didn't eat the cookie. The other half ate that. I probably ate a couple of mouthfuls of that cake and 1 scoop of ice cream, which would have been the vanilla. But yeah, just my brain just cannot do it. It can't say no to things. So this is later on that evening, and I don't know why I don't have any dinner pictures. I just maybe think I just wasn't hungry that night at all. Maybe I don't know why I haven't got any. Maybe somebody else took them. But I do have a picture of my dessert, and it was fresh fruit. And that was at 9 o'clock at night. So we've obviously been into one of the restaurants and had something to eat. So this is kind of like my typical breakfast for the cruise. Watermelon was absolutely beautiful, a coffee, a yogurt. And on this one, I've got a pastry. I think I had a pastry once. But yeah, the fruit was really, really lovely. I really enjoyed that. Now, I think on this particular day, we were off on a long trip. Let me just see where we were going. Where were we going? I don't know what is going on this day, but this is my breakfast. I've got a sausage at the top there that I didn't like and I didn't eat. I've got the omelette, which I probably ate half of, some rice because I can't say no to rice, and this thing that was referred to as corned beef hash, and it was like beef and onions and potato all chopped up with kind of like a peppery spice on it, and it was really, really nice. But yeah, I think we must have been going off on a day trip on this particular day, so maybe that's why I was having something to eat. And I had some fruit, some pineapple, watermelon, and yeah, that was really, really nice. This meal, what time did I have that? That was 8 o'clock in the morning. So that afternoon, about 20 past 12, me and Jed went to the, I'm trying to think what it was called, Go Local restaurant. And it was like, these were called sausage sliders, and it was basically a little tiny sausage sandwich with some mustard on. Really, really nice. Didn't eat many chips. and we had one of those each. So because I said to him, I'd like to go and have this, but I don't want to eat the whole lot. So he's like, I'm not really very hungry, but I'll come with you. Oh, actually, this isn't at sea day because we did the ship excursion tour where they show you all around. So that night we were dining in the Italian restaurant, and myself and Jackie had this pizza between us. It said it was a starter, but it was just massive. It was a massive cheesy garlicky bread. This was, I think, my starter. Again, probably only ate half of that, and everybody had a little pick of what I was having. This was my main course, and it was kind of like, it was like a spaghetti linguine, like a linguine kind of pasta in like a tomato sauce, but there was like no meat in it. It was just like I would probably call this like an arrabbiata if it was just a normal pasta. So it was like a tomatoey sauce, but it was really, really nice. It was enough for me. And this was not my dinner. I don't know if this was Jed's dinner and he would have had a steak, or maybe it was lamb. I honestly cannot remember. Oh, that was Jed's. This is Jackie's. She had a pasta because Jed would never choose pasta in a restaurant. And this was kind of like, this did have the pork in it, and she said it was lovely. I didn't have a dessert, everybody. Well done, me. This was either Jed's or Jackie's dessert. I think this was the cheesecake, and yeah, that would have been Jackie's, and this was Jed's, which would have been like, it was like a chocolate mousse with like a big blob of chocolate in the middle. There he is, the man himself. So the next day we ate out, we were on an excursion, and we went to a restaurant that was kind of included with our meal. It was a set menu, so we didn't get a choice of anything, and we just had to have what we had. Now, we had to tell people if we had any intolerances or anything. Now, I don't like fish. We are in, where were we? Vietnam. So I didn't want to take any chances for fish, so I don't eat fish. So I just said, I don't eat fish. And then they were very accommodating. And yeah, it was a beautiful restaurant. And this is what we had for starter. So it was kind of like spring rolls. Everybody else had these, it was like banana leaves with something wrapped in it. To this day, we don't know what it was. And then I got these two things at the top, which they described as like custards. They were bland, didn't taste of anything. I tried a bit, but it was not for me. So that was my starter. This was the main course, and it was a pork stew in a clay pot. Those eggs were tough as old boots. And then there was the pak chow, I think it's called. I always see it in the supermarket. I never buy it, and yeah, it was really nice. That's what we had, and then that's kind of like my portion size. For context, that is a side plate. And then for dessert, we had little creme caramel things. So that restaurant was in a place called Ho Chi Minh City. Back on the ship that evening, and is it the same night? Let me just have a little look. 25th of February, yes, this is the same night, and we are eating in the Steakhouse, Cagney Steakhouse, I think it was called. Oh, beautiful. So this was a prawn cocktail. These prawns are huge. I don't eat fish, but I do eat prawns. These prawns were delicious and massive, but it was like they just put ketchup on it. Now, I'm a bit of a Mary Rose gal, and I do like the old mayonnaise. So I did ask for some mayonnaise, and they looked at me like my head had just fell off. But they did bring it out, and it was delicious. I did kind of tip it all on the plate and chop it all up and mix it up with the mayonnaise, and it was delicious. So this was Jed's starter. This was, I don't know, pork belly, so fatty, not for me, but he loved it. It was delicious. And this was my main course, steak in the middle, jacket potato, bit of broccoli, mushrooms. That is spinach in like a creamy sauce. And I think that, I don't know what that sauce is, I can't remember. And a tomato at the top. Beautiful, very, very filling. So yes, that was that. And for dessert, it was like a raspberry creme brulee. It was okay. It wasn't like its finest hour. It was all right. Would I have picked it again? Probably not. That was Jed's. Chocolate something, I don't know, with ice cream. That was Jackie's. She had, I think, a cheesecake, and she said it was delicious, but everybody was struggling with the desserts because the portions were huge. Now, this is the next day. I hadn't had breakfast. I'd had my usual coffee and juices. This is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I think we were just, I don't know where we'd been and what we were doing. We were just sat in the restaurant and I fancied a scone. Now, these were chocolate chip scones. I don't know why they didn't put raisins in them, or why they never had any scones with raisins in, which I quite like. And yeah, so a little bit of whipped cream with the scone, and it was delicious. And those scones, they were tiny, they weren't huge. And I just thought I'd show you this picture because it was beautiful. And it was watermelons that had been sculptured out, little patterns, and yeah, beautiful. This is only kind of a little ship as well. It's not like your big Royal Caribbean ships. It's only a couple of thousand passengers, so it's quite small in cruise world. Now, we've come back to Cagney Steakhouse for another meal, and this was beautiful. This was a prawn starter again. I had the same thing. This was my main course. So I had prawns on, and it was kind of like a bed of vegetables. Really, really nice, actually. Oh, now, let me show you this video, because that was basically half a lemon wrapped in like a little bit of muslin, and you just squeezed it on your prawns, and yeah, how good is that? The pips didn't fall out everywhere, and I thought, oh, I'm glad I videoed that actually, because I'd forgotten about that. Also, just to point out, if you do take a weight loss injection and you are on a cruise, or you have any kind of injectable meds, in all the toilets there are these little God, brain is not working, what are they called? Whatever they call these boxes, I'll put the words here. They have these available in all the toilets for you just to dispose of your needles. Next day, we are off the ship again in Hong Kong. We are lost. We stopped for something to eat because this was about 3:15 in the afternoon. Hadn't eaten much this day. And why I chose a club sandwich is absolutely beyond me. If I ate 2 of them quarters, I did well. Far too much to eat. I think this was our last night actually, and we are in a teppanyaki restaurant, which it's such a shame because on the ship you can't see the teppanyaki restaurant. It just looks like a normal restaurant, but it's actually in a room at the back. Now, I have done a kind of ASMR video of this where I've just literally uploaded the video, and it is like, I don't know, 20-30 minutes long, maybe even longer, because some people kind of like that. So, you know, if you like a bit of watching things in the background, go and find my ASMR video for the teppanyaki, and you will see the chef at work. So yeah, we had this like little salady starter, which was nice. And then our chef was preparing and cooking the food for everybody around the table. Unless you had an allergy or an intolerance, then they didn't cook it there in this part of the kitchen. They cooked it in the kitchen where you can't see, and they brought your food out for you. So this was like a little egg fried rice there, and you can see all the vegetables on the grill and the rice down the other end. So it was really lovely actually. I think I'd done my injection maybe a day or 2 before this, and I was just not hungry at all. My appetite was really, really suppressed. And also we were all coming down with something and not feeling our finest. In fact, I think, just see if I've got any other pictures for you. Our dessert, 1 lychee and a load of fruit. I love my lychees, I really do. So that was the dessert. And I think, my loves, that concludes everything on the ship and the tours for food. So I hope you found that interesting and enjoyed some of those pictures. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and appreciate all your comments and your thumbs up. They really, really do help me find some new followers and some people to watch the video. So thank you very much. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and see you next time. Bye.